Welcome to the second week of Lifetime Activities. Today we are going to start the GOAT program, and it is actually a goal setting program where you're going to understand why I call it the GOAT program. So our journey here is you're going to learn three of life's most important skills. They really are. They can help you in any aspect of your life, no matter what you're doing, whether it's a job, whether it's schoolwork, whether it's at home. These three skills are very, very important and can help you in any way. First one is goal setting. The second one is problem solving. And the last one is time management. So really, any successful companies and organization, they follow some sort of managed skill in order to be successful. And an easy but effective system that teaches key life skills is goal setting, problem solving, and time management. You'll find that in any successful company, they have these things accomplished. They know how to put them in play and they know how to accomplish them. So it all starts with a written goal, a well-developed plan in writing. It's important that you write down your plan and to do something that you want to do. All right? By learning these three key life skills and the system that we're going through to apply them, you will have this mastered skill that many adults actually fail to do. So this system, this goal setting, this program is to help you achieve these things. The great part is you already hold the key. You already possess the greatest skill needed for success. One, a positive attitude is key to success. Your greatest skill is the ability to daydream. What do you mean daydream? Doesn't that sound like you're distracted? Not necessarily. What it means is what you want to do. If you have a desire to achieve something, you must first think of it in your mind. That's how all great plans start. It's not just all of a sudden they write it out. It is something that has been thought about in their mind, and that's what I mean by daydream. He can who thinks he can, and he can't who thinks he can't. Think about that. If you think you can, you truly can. If you don't think you can, then you're not going to achieve it. One thing that can help you be successful are quotes, poems, things that you see that are motivational, that help you, influence you in the right way. Many times we can hear things, we can see things, and it pushes us to achieve our goals. One of your assignments this week has goals in it, also has quotes in it. The quotes are something that what speaks to you, what you find. So think about what quotes speak to you. What help you motivate you to want to be successful in your goals, in your life, and what you're doing on a daily basis. Now there are things that get in the way, or else goals would be easy, right? These things are barriers, and the one barrier that is most detrimental to people is their own negative self-talk. So even though you hold the key in being positive and going, you also have one of the biggest barriers to overcome. Like we talked about, your mind will believe whatever you tell it. That is a very, very true statement. And many times our negative self-talk, it prevents us from realizing our full potential. Have you ever called yourself stupid? Have you ever told yourself, I don't do well on tests? Or I could never do that because I'm ... Have you ever told yourself these things? Have you ever heard people say these things? These are the negative self-talk that I'm talking about, and we want to learn how to overcome these and put them into a positive affirmation. So next one, affirmation. What is an affirmation? It is changing those negative self-talks into something positive. One tip for improving yourself through this program is to adopt the following phrase when approaching any new concept. So you find a new concept, you look at a goal. This is a phrase I want you to adopt. It is go on and try. That is one standing for go, and you'll learn more as we go on. But I would like you to implement this phrase into your life. Go on and try. You never know what you can do unless you try. If you don't try, then all you are is a lack of trying. okay? You never know what you can succeed by just trying. You may not believe everything right away, but you can still enjoy the benefits of simply trying. So we're going to have a little bit of a story here. It's Cameron's story. Cameron always told his friends during golf that he couldn't hit the ball over water. Common misconception, a common negative self-talk with a lot of people. When I golf, I say the same thing. But Cameron here, he said sure enough, he almost always hit the ball in the water because he was so focused on it. He had that negative self-talk. He tried repeating the following affirmation, so he took that negative self-talk and he changed it. Water is never a problem when I am hitting the ball. His focus was now on hitting the ball, not on it going in the water. So pretty much what he's done is just changed his focus. Instead of focusing on I never am able to hit over water, he focused on I'm going to hit the ball. Eventually water did not bother his shot, and he hardly ever had a problem hitting the ball over water. He also applied it into several tricks he couldn't do on his skateboard. Once my focus was on getting it done instead of not being able to do them, I became better at doing the hard tricks, said Cameron. What Cameron used to overcome his negative self-talk were affirmations. This is also going to be part of the assignment. So think of affirmations, think of your negative self-talks. We're going to have examples and be able to go over them, but think of that and how you can change them into something positive. Make sure your affirmations are always positive. That is crucial. If they're negative, they're not going to help. You're trying to change a negative talk into something positive. So make sure that your affirmations are always positive. Make sure you read your affirmations in the morning and before you go to sleep. Very positive. Like I said in the very beginning, what your mind believes, it will do. So if you're constantly telling yourself these things, your mind will change. Your mind is a very, very strong tool. So make sure you have it somewhere where you can read it morning and night. And then always write your affirmations in the present tense, as if you're already doing them. I am happy because I love life. Now, okay? Put it in the now sense, not I'm only happy if, or when so-and-so does this, I'm happy, or when I do this, I'm happy. Always needs to be in the present tense. So make sure that you have your affirmations in the present tense. We're going to continue on this GOAT program, and you'll see that there's several pictures throughout the program. One is the goat, and that represents the program. The other one is the crocodile. And the last one is the skeleton. And we're going to go over each one of those, what they represent and how to overcome them, and the positives in the GOAT. Pretty much the other two are negative. So the GOAT program, it stands for 4 things. The G stands for goals, the O stands for objectives, the A stands for actions, and the T for timelines. We're going to go through each one of these individually and implement them to be successful with the goal settings, with your goals, with your dreams that you have. And that's what the blue goat represents, is those 4. The alligator and pirate, they represent negative influences and excuses. The first one is the alligator. Many times we hear people say, yeah, but. That's our excuses. It symbolizes excuses and our limiting beliefs that prevent us from achieving our goals. Many times we have, well, I could do that, but, or, yeah, but that's not really necessary. Those are our excuses, they are limiting beliefs, and that's what the alligator represents. The pirate skeleton represents our negative influences from around you and prevent you from achieving goals. We're going to go over both of those more in detail. Let's go over the first letter, which is G, and it stands for goal. Goals are those things that we desire or want to achieve. For example, you may want to get a new iPod or a new iPad or something like that. You may want to take a driving class so you can pass your test and get your driver's license. Those are some goals. Now, creating your goal. Your goal must be in writing. Like we talked about before, writing is essential to the plan. Once something is written, Your subconscious mind is programmed to think about it even when you aren't thinking about it consciously. So, very important that you write down your goal. Make sure that your goal is clearly defined and that they are realistic. Many goal setters aren't clear about what they want and they put themselves up for failure by setting unrealistic goals. So, two criteria that you need to be aware of. Make sure they are clearly defined and that they are realistic. Remember to identify your alligators. Remember what those were? They were the excuses. And remember to identify the pirate skeletons. Those are the negative influences. Now, make sure that you review your goal every day. Not weekly, not monthly, but every day you are reviewing your goals. And then make sure that when we go through it, that you're achieving your goals daily. And those will come with the objectives and the actions as we go further down. But make sure that you do review them daily and that you achieve what you have set out daily. Now, your goals must be your own. You're not going to achieve a goal if it's my goal because that's what I want to do. It maybe my goal can influence you to create your own goal, but it must be your own goal. It must be something that you want to do, or else it will not be a success. So go on and try, okay? Here's some sample goals that you can brainstorm with that will help you to discover your own goals. 1, I want to improve my grade in math by 1 letter by the end of the grading period. Another goal, to get my driver's license by my 16th birthday. Another goal, to get a job at the zoo working with animals this summer. Many goals that you can choose from, just sample ones there. But remember, the system you are learning says that after you identify your goal and develop a written plan to achieve it, you must first identify your alligators that are hiding in the bushes and the pirate skeletons that are lurking around the corner. Okay, you have to identify these so that you know how to overcome them. So here's some samples. Let's use the first goal, the improve my grade by 1 letter or whatever you want by the end of the period. Here's some sample excuses. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time to improve my grade. I don't have enough time to put extra effort into it. Another excuse, I'm not smart enough. Or it's boring. Several excuses right here. Let's go over the negative influences. Same goal, to improve my grade. Negative influences are spending too much time playing those video games. Common negative influence. Or hanging out with friends, or hanging out with the wrong friends. Okay, they can be negative. Now, friends, they're a good thing, right? But they can be negative if they get in the way of you studying or you achieving your goal. Another example is spending too much time talking on the phone. None of you are ever on the phone, I'm sure of it. But these can be negative influences, and then those can be excuses or your limiting beliefs. Okay? Sometimes you say, well, it's not an excuse, it's true. I'm not smart enough, or I don't have enough time. That's not true. That is just a belief that you've put in your mind, but it's not true. So it's a limiting belief, and that's something that needs to be changed. So identifying these when you have written your goal out is important. It is very important for you to succeed the goal if you can point these areas out. We're going to move on to the next one, which is the O, and it stands for objectives. Now, objectives are like the stepping stones that will lead you to your goal. An objective is something that you have identified that needs to be done to reach your goal. It's important to realize that it will require no action other than to identify what needs to be done. Okay, so they're stepping stones. You are just identifying what needs to be done, and then later in the program we'll talk about actions. But if your goal were to open a restaurant, your objectives would be the different things you would need to identify in your business, such as your advertising, your financing, marketing, inventory, location, and so forth. Those are all objectives in order to be able to open a restaurant. So once you have completed an objective, you should check it off your plan. There is a goal worksheet that you'll find that I give to you that goes with assignments. There is a check mark. It's very important that you check it off once it's done. Here's some sample objectives, not with the goal above, but sample objectives. Make my bed, brush my teeth, comb hair, eat breakfast, read morning paper. Check, check, check. Once you've done them, make sure that you are checking them off. We're going to go over an exercise here from Sasha. Sasha knew what steps she needed in order to get a job at the mall. She listed the following steps on paper. She needs to dress nice, get an application to fill out, follow up 2 days later with a phone call, prepare for the interview. She knew if she followed these steps, she would have a good chance at getting a job at her favorite store. It was less stressful when I planned my approach, she told us. My confidence was up because I felt prepared, and as I checked off each objective, I knew I was on the right track. So what did Sasha use here to achieve her goal? She used objectives. She wrote them down. She knew what she needed to be done. Let's go back to our sample goal to improve a grade. So some sample objectives would be do homework. Okay, you've got to do your homework to get a better grade. You need to study, and you need to pay attention in class. Those are the sample objectives. They're identifying what needs to be done in order to achieve your goal. Even though we have our objectives, we also need to remember that there's still those limiting beliefs or excuses that can get in the way, or negative influences. So to go back to that sample goal, improve my grade in whatever by 1 letter, the sample objectives we had were the same: do homework, study, pay attention in class. So some sample excuses or limiting beliefs would be I didn't plan well enough, or I'm not organized, I didn't even get enough sleep. Now some of these you may feel, maybe I didn't get enough sleep, and that is the truth, but the problem that comes from that is that it becomes a limiting belief. You start feeling like that's the reason you're not able to achieve your goals and so forth. So don't let them become limiting beliefs. Now part of the negative influences could be things like your favorite TV show. I know how easy it is to get wrapped up into one of your favorite TV shows, or your favorite food, or internet and so forth. Phones, things like that can be negative influences. We move on to the last 2 letters of the GOAT program, actions and timelines. And throughout this, we'll learn more about actions and how to take action in your goals, and the timelines that are crucial in achieving your goals. So first we go into actions, and that is the 3rd letter in GOAT. And like I said, it stands for actions. Actions are the things you need to accomplish to reach an objective. So the objectives, like we said before, are the stepping stones, what needs to be done, and the actions are the things that you need to do to accomplish that. So actions are where the fun begins. You get to begin your quest to achieve your dreams and goals. I love the action part because it's really where your hard work pays off. I want you guys to invest in a saying: failure is not an option. If you can understand that, then you will achieve anything you want to. So one of the main reasons many people fail to achieve their goals and dreams is that they never take action. So make sure you're taking action. It is a very important part of your goal setting. And another word for not taking action would be procrastination. And a lot of people tend to procrastinate our goals, our dreams, anything that we want to do because of either the excuses, the limiting beliefs, or those negative influences. So a great part is action. You'll see over here a story. It's called Allie's story. I want to read it to you. Early on, she said, I realized that those kids that got things done took action. Those around them procrastinated and weren't as productive. I didn't want to be part of this group, Allie said. What is the reason Allie does not want to be around kids who don't get things done? Because she wants to be productive. She wants to get things done. And truly, if you can be productive, you'll achieve your goals. And there's another story here. It's Becca's story that I want to go over. And first, before we go over Becca's story, I want to explain the difference between the objectives and actions. So objectives are like categories of what you need to achieve, and the actions are the to-dos to reach each objective. Does that make sense? So you have your categories, and the actions are the to-do list of how to achieve that category. Now, Becca had 2 goals: getting good grades and winning a beauty pageant. She knew her parents would not allow her to spend so much time pursuing her hobby if she did not maintain good grades. Each day, Becca got up at 6 a.m. after a good night's rest and went to the gym to work out. Afterwards, she returned home and ate breakfast and got ready for school. Then she would review her schedule to bring the right books and notebooks she would need for her daily classes. Becca also practiced interview questions, her introduction, and walking in her gown and shoes at least 5 times per week so she would be well prepared. She knew that success would come by organizing her clothing, accessories, makeup, and so forth. Okay, she had a well developed plan and she followed it. You'll see below her story her goals, the objectives that went with it, and each action. And I want to go over these with you. So her first goal was good grades, and her objectives were studying, pay attention in class, and do homework. Now the actions for studying were review her notes, take practice tests on the subject. You see how the one is a category, studying and reviewing notes, practicing the test are the to-dos. The other one is pay attention in class. She took good notes as her action. And the other action is have write books and notebooks for class. She was well prepared. She made sure she had what it. So she was taking action before she even got to class. The other one is do homework. Her actions were organize books, pens, notes, and snacks. Her other action is to complete the assignments. Now her next goal was to win the beauty pageant. Her first objective, exercise. And then the action that came along was work out at the gym. Get proper rest. So once again, she's taking action. She's making sure she's prepared to achieve the objective. The next objective is pageant preparation. She took action by organizing her clothing, her accessories, makeup, and so forth. The other action she took was practice interviewing, introduction, and walking. You can see in each one of these that one is an objective or a category that is going to help her achieve her goal, and the other is the actions, the actual things that she needs to do to achieve that category. Each of you can also implement this wonderful plan into your life, into your goals. This is what your goals and objectives, the actions, this is what they should look like. So when you see your assignments of making goals, of exercises, or the content that we're learning, come back and look at this, because this is the proper way your objectives and actions should look with the goal that you're trying to achieve. You'll notice that her objectives, her actions, they're detailed. They're not something that's broad. She's very detailed in how she's going to achieve her goal, the actions that need to take place in order to achieve that objective, to achieve the goal. Okay, so make sure that you're reviewing that and looking into what you're creating, because that's how they should be, detailed and achievable. Now here's a few things here, just some samples I wanted to go over. So objective is study. The actions, bring home all necessary books and papers and notes, find a quiet place to study, get pens, paper, pencils, invite a friend to help study or quiz you, use the internet for research practice. See how all those are actions to the one objective of study. Now do all homework is another objective. Another action, bring home all necessary books and papers, find a quiet place to do homework, get pens, papers, pencils, and homework. Get a snack and a drink to relax while doing homework. Once again, a lot of actions to make sure that you're going to accomplish the one objective, do all homework. Now the final one that we have here is to pay attention in class. The actions is stay on task and keep focused. Don't talk with others while instructor is teaching. Take notes. Keep eye contact to head off desk. You're at home, so it's going to be a little bit different, but still, keep your head off the desk. Pay attention. Keep your eyes on the blackboard. Another thing, get plenty of rest every night. Very important. Eat a good breakfast. Ask questions. So you can see here again, the actions are detailed of what's going to happen in order to achieve the one objective, pay attention in class. Now, once you've completed an action, you should check it off. Make sure, once again, we've talked about writing it down and the importance of writing it down. Make sure that once you have achieved that action, that you check it off, and you should also list your actions for each goal. Now let's not forget again the alligators, which are your excuses or limiting beliefs, and the pirate skeletons. They are always there. We must identify them if we're going to overcome them. Once again, sample excuses or limiting of beliefs with the same goal is I ran out of time, I was too tired, I'm lazy. Now, making action will prevent all these things. Preparing is taking action. So, action is going to limit these. Your pirate skeletons or the negative influences in your life, phone calls from friends, computer games, watch TV show, same things that we've discussed over and over again. Once again, your actions that you prepare for each objective should overcome these. That's why it's so important to point these out so that you know how to overcome them and what you need to overcome. The final one in the acronym GOAT is T, and it stands for timelines. By adopting the habit of effectively managing your time, you will find less stress in your life and will accomplish more. This is so true. You can schedule things out, and using this in your goals, using your timelines of when you're going to achieve them, will truly save you so much time, so much stress, and will get you to your dreams and goals a lot faster. Scheduling your time with a timeline, okay? We've talked about this. By learning how to schedule your activities, you'll be able to complete them in a timely manner and have enough downtime in your schedule. Timelines tell you when something needs to be done. With your goals, is going to tell you when you need to achieve that objective. If you want to reach your goal by a certain date, then you will need to complete each objective in your plan before that date. That makes sense, right? You got to achieve the objectives to reach your final goal in which the date you want to achieve. You will need to complete each action for your objectives on or before its due date. So overall, your summary is by laying out a timeline in your plan, you can confidently move step by step toward your goal, knowing when each item needs to be completed instead of being overwhelmed by the entire plan. There's many times that we look at our big goal or we look at the entire plan and it can be so overwhelming. You think, I'm never going to get to this, or I'm never going to achieve this. How am I ever going to be able to run a mile in 8 minutes, right? That is something that just seems overwhelming sometimes. But if we can set our timelines, if we can schedule it out, if we can schedule out our objectives, schedule out our actions, it seems so much easier. It seems something that we can achieve, and you truly can by taking it step by step. That's why timelines are so crucial. Once again, do not procrastinate, okay? The enemy of timelines, again, is procrastination. It is so easy to tell yourself, I'll just do it later, or someday I'm going to get to it. Don't do that, okay? It's just hurting yourself and it's pulling you down. You want to achieve your goals, the best time to do it is now. Take action now. And like we said before, don't forget those alligators and pirate skeletons that can pull you away from your goals. These ones are related to your timelines, your excuses or limiting beliefs could be I can't focus for long periods of time, or I can't manage a schedule, I'll do it later. Don't do it later. Do it now. That's the best way to accomplish your goals, and if you do it later, you'll never get to it. The other thing is your negative influences, being with friends or being on email or text messaging or instant messaging. Those types of things can take you away from accomplishing something with your timelines. Make sure that you get on it. We have a lot of practice with this program throughout the semester with the variety of concepts that we're going to learn throughout the semester. Use it, utilize it. These skills are the best things that you can accomplish. We've talked about that in the very beginning of the program, that if you can accomplish these 3 things we've talked about through this session, you guys will be successful. Not only in this class, not only in all your other classes, but throughout your entire life. These skills are crucial for any individual who wants to be successful, so try it. Go on and try it. You have nothing to lose. Let's try it throughout the semester and with the assignments coming forward.